If I told you that the person whose face is behind me was one of the biggest stars in the history of entertainment, I don't believe that you have the context to really believe me or understand that. But Bob Hope, for a number of decades, was as big as it got. I was talking to some friends about this the other day when one of them brought up the Bob Hope Airport, and I said, wow, what a great example of this person's enormous legacy and influence. And they were like, I'm sorry, I don't actually remember anything he's done. And that's when it occurred to me that while this is one of the biggest stars to ever live, movie star, TV star, stand-up comedian, Oscar host, USO giant, he also isn't really in any classic movies we still revisit today. I mean, he's in the Road 2 movies with Bing Crosby, and those are definitely famous and referenced, but they're not making almost anybody's top 100 or top 200 list of classic movies to see. While on the flip side, you have comedians with much shorter careers who, proportionate to us, look like they must have been a much bigger deal, like Danny Kaye. So many people still watch White Christmas every year, and film fans go back and watch The Court Jester. If you've never seen either of those, I recommend both, but there aren't like big rewatch movies like that starring Bob Hope. And frankly, like the Road 2 movies, most of his best films are quite dated. On the one hand, you have truly fast-paced, witty humor, but on the other, you do have a lot of sexism and racism evident of what Hollywood was like at the time. But that means it's hard for us, as modern audiences, to really get a context for how big of a deal Bob Hope was for so long. Like, I think for most young audiences, you're going to see like a couple clips viral online of one of his fast-talking bits. Maybe you'll have noticed his cameo in the Muppet movie, but that might be where it ends. Maybe if you saw Spies Like Us, which I think he's in. But again, those are cameos, blips, not a peek at his star power, and what made this man the near 100-year icon of Hollywood. And if you do have a favorite Bob Hope movie that you think people should revisit, please, I beg you, put it in the comments.